Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, good morning, selamat sejahtera. Thank you for having me here. And I also have my head of advanced continuing education is with me, Haji Muzaffar. We came here to share our experience in aviation. I have 32 years in aircraft industry. Haji Muzaffar is almost 40. I was about the same years. So I would like to just, actually I hope there are people here so we have more Q&A. Actually, how it started, one of your alumni, I was doing training and he was in the group and asking me whether I can do some presentation or some talk at UM. So I said, okay, no problem. My time is a bit tight, however, I said I can spend my time with UM. Talking to the students. Actually, I was doing training on aircraft airworthiness. So he said that that subject is not, he has not learned it at the university, and that subject is very important when you work in the aircraft industry. You must have the knowledge and competence in aircraft airworthiness. Otherwise, you are. That is one of the requirements for working for the aircraft industry. So, yeah, I'm here today with me and Muzaffar. So I will talk more on the airworthiness. First, I will show. Actually, I will guide you to see all the information on airworthiness from the CN website. And I don't know how you can transmit the video, I'm not sure, but I'll go into that and I will share the detailed content of this airworthiness with Haji. And from here we can pick up what could be the potential career for you.
Okay. Sorry?
CAAM. Civil Aviation. MM. Okay, start.
Okay.
So for us in aviation, this is something that you need to refer. It's mandatory because when you work on the aircraft, you signing off the aircraft and you shall be complying to the regulation, the mission regulation, which is governed by Civil Aviation Authority Malaysia. So that is the authority responsible for Malaysia to the world regarding the aircraft safety. So here I will show you, from here there are many pull-out menu, but I will show you on the legislation regulations, because at work you have to comply to this. All your work will be according to the requirement. I go more direct to this Civil Aviation Directive. So these are the compliance. So you go through this, how many pages? Please free to ask questions, and we are open for that. So all these are regulations pertaining to aircraft safety. And at work, you must comply to all of this related to your area of work. In aviation, we do have sub-sectors. We have aircraft design certification, aircraft production. Those are independently approved by the authority, and you must be competent to work in those companies. Design, certification, production, aircraft operations, aircraft maintenance, continuing airworthiness management company, and aircraft maintenance organization, and aircraft maintenance training or aircraft pilot training. All those departments, all the regulation will be in this website, and each of these are regulation you must comply. If not, 5 years jail, 500,000 penalty. That's why this is very, very important for you at work, because that is also the license for you to get a job by having knowledge, understanding, competency on this, as well as that understanding or regulation will protect you from any kind of punishment. Okay, so that is training I was given to industry, because industry need to understand and know about this requirement. So this is not something CA just plucked from the sky, suddenly published this document. This one published, this is adoption and adaptation of International Civil Aviation Organization standard and recommended practices, which each country as a signatory to ICAO, member state of International Civil Aviation Organization, should bring this into the country's law and regulations. So that's why this existed, because of the international requirement. Okay. And then we have 19 annexes, 19 standard and recommended practices. Started with 1. Cat 1 here is International Civil Aviation Organization Annex 1, which is personal licensing. Licensing of pilot, licensing of maintenance engineer, licensing of air traffic controller, licensing of ground handler. Pilot, maintenance engineer, air traffic controller, ground handler. Those 4 are licensed. Those are license holder. You may only hear about pilots. You may halfly hear about aircraft maintenance engineer, but you may not really hear about ground handling, and you may not hear much about air traffic controller. Those are licensed. You don't have a license, it cannot work. Anywhere in the world, those are the 4 licenses in the aviation industry. License issued by the authority of the state. So if you are Malaysia, if you are other country, then there's licensed by your country's aviation regulation agency. We have under Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, and there are Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore, Civil Aviation Authority of China, Federal Aviation Administration of the United States, and we have European EASA, European Aviation Safety Agency, EASA for the European countries. Okay, now we go to Annex 2. So here are all the requirements, all the regulations associated with personal licensing. If you have flying club, you have flight simulator. So your flight simulator is not a toy, that is an aircraft. The flight simulator is an aircraft, certified as an aircraft, even though it's not flying, that is an aircraft. So we have to comply to the flight simulation training devices 1, 2, 3. If not, your simulator will not be used for training. If you still using it, you will be punished because you are illegal. English, for example, English proficiency, you must have certain English language proficiency for you to work in aviation, because English language is a safety language. There are a lot of accidents because of English. Incompetency of English, wrong use of English has caused aircraft to crash, kill a lot of people. So English become a requirement. That's why you can see here English language proficiency testing. I think UPM used to be one of the center. I don't know what happened. UPM has conducted English language proficiency. I think under your language faculty or something, I'm not sure where. Then we have CAP 2, which is NX2. I don't want to elaborate more on that because it's not really related to us, however related to industry. Meteorology is a MET, also under NX3. Malaysia turning to CAP 3. Aeronautical chart, the chart that you see used by the pilot and by the aviation industry. Measurement. And NX6 is aircraft operation. There are 3 aircraft operations: aircraft operation for commercial air transport and aircraft operation for general aviation. General aviation is aircraft operation for the business jet, for the personal aircraft. They are not for the they're not selling tickets. So just you have a lot of money, you buy an aircraft, you operate the aircraft. The aircraft will be under CAT 6 Part 2, General Aviation Aeroplane. And if you have helicopters, CAT 6 Part 3, you are the operator for helicopters, you must comply to these regulations. And then there are all associated regulations under aircraft operation, as it is including unmanned aircraft system. You fly your unmanned aircraft system, not following this regulation, you can be penalized. So don't simply fly. So there are 5 categories. 3 has been published. The other 2 is in the process to be published. You can see 6011 Part 1, Unmanned Aircraft System, Remote Pilot Training Organization. For you to be a pilot for the drone, you must have drone pilot license issued by this RPTO, and there are already 4 RPTO in Malaysia. Okay. And for Part 2 is operation of dispensing fertilizers and pesticides. You also need to have operational approval. You have to have a company. Company must have operational approval. They call it aerial work certificate. To have that aerial work certificate, you must be an operational company issued under this approval, and you must have pilot with license, which you get the training through the 6011 Part 8 Part 1. And then you also, if you have special project, you have special purpose unmanned aircraft, you can also apply for the approval under 6011 Part 5 Unmanned Aircraft System Special UAS project. So if you have any research, you want to fly the aircraft, you need to apply for Part 5. So these are all for helicopters below 20 kilograms. So to play safe, not to get into this trouble, you buy unmanned below 20 kilograms. However, you still need clearance from the Department of Civil Aviation Authority. So you go to this public, you can see here unmanned aircraft system, and then you can see how to get approval for flying unmanned aircraft below 20 kilo. You apply for standard authorization to fly, ATF. You have all the detail in here, how to get those ATF, and this is only, you can see here, okay, less than 20 kilogram. You can stop me, don't let me talk and talk. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. This is not lecture, this is sharing knowledge, sharing information. So we have to Haji Muzaffar here as well, we can help you in any thing regarding your future career. Okay, then we have NX7, which is now translated to Cat 7, aircraft nationality and registration marking. So we don't simply number the aircraft as we like. Oh, banyak license, which one? CD1 tu ada 4. Pilot, aircraft maintenance, ground handler, air traffic controller. Okay. Unfortunately, ATC is only one operator, which is CA Malaysia itself. We do not have multiple, we do not have a public operator like in Europe, private operators. So they are operated by the government. So air traffic controller operated by the government. If you are interested to be air traffic controller officer, there are openings by the government, you apply. Once you apply, you go for the ATC training at mentioned Aviation Academy in Sabah. You go to the training, then you will be licensed, complete all the training, pass all the exam, you will be issued with license as air traffic controller officers. Ada juga three area controller, radar controller, macam-macam. But that is how to get into air traffic. You don't openly ask. Okay. Soalan yang selalu saya ditanya, tapi saya Haji Mus dah experience dalam industri ni. Qualification tu bukan penting.
Assalamualaikum. So your degree that you're going to do now is going to be the base of what you're going to be later. Of course, you need your degree. The main thing about actually the degree is more the way that you get better into the understanding. What you learn now is problem solving. You have to solve all your problems. So these 4 years, what you learn, you have all the subject. One is not university have to have something else. But what we expect from you is you know how to solve problems. So you have your friend and the test come. So now the lecturer throw you a problem. The lecturer throw you problems. Now you have to solve that problem. So whatever that you're facing now, the lecturer is throwing you problems. Whatever they teach you, they just at first you stand up here, we just talk to you. Then we create a problem, we throw you a problem, we solve that problem. For 4 years, you train your mind how to solve problem. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. This is the thing that people don't tell you about. But what we expect you now, you will be able to solve problems. So when you get into the industry, into the world. Because now also industry complaining, university don't prepare you for industry. Actually, university prepare you the mindset of solving problem. Because industry industry is having problem. So your job, my job, your job now is solving problem. Now the problem is you don't know what I'm going to do in the future. So that is the problem that we're trying to solve. So everything is solving problem. So to solve problems in industry, when you get into the industry, of course they complain the industry don't do enough. But then again, the industry never know 100% of the problem in industry. Problem change all the time. Now the changes is more and more and more and faster and faster than what Abu showing. The CAD is only the last year. 2021 introduced. Before that, it's research. Inside about the same one. But then they arrange it differently and everybody get confused. So we got this problem. So industry, like what you see, license, that 4 license, even ATC, they got level. You go there, first they give you site in the tower. You want to have a new. ATC, nothing happens, people start yelling at them. Actually, it's more than that. So the one licensing, all this is important. That's a 4 license. But besides that 4 license, I can say that every single thing that you do in aviation, you need to be certified. The authority don't declare everything, but the company themselves have to make sure that every people is, whatever you do, you are a certified person. There will be a different training. Okay, you have that training on ADC, you have specific training. License engineer, you have multiple hundreds of training. Pilot, you have that training. But pilot training, when you can fly, there's still a lot of training is still going on. So this is, you have to remember, after you graduate, so this is the best time of your life. Enjoy your life now. Enjoy your life now. Because when you graduate, when you start working, you have to learn more than what you learn. Yeah, passing mark. C, 50%. 40, 50. So you do something right 50% of the time, wrong 50% of the time, you pass. You think the same thing about everything. I do about 80% okay, so 20% of the crash, it's okay. So we are looking at 100%. 100% perfect. When you go into the working life, your problem solving is 100%. Now you can make mistake 50% of the time, you still okay. That's the way. So this is because enjoy your life. Especially year 1, year 2, you stay about 2 years and you are the final year, sorry, you didn't enjoy your life before and you made a mistake. So that's the main thing. So licensing, that's the ATC, they got different levels. So you know, stay, you get office stay. Basically, for that, the figure is an expert in terms of regulation. So you look at all the regulation. Regulation, this is serious. From nothing, you design, it's ready by law. Everything, so many things that you have to follow. Then when you want to make that product, so many things. When that thing is there, you have to make sure that it's okay forever. So many things you have to do. After the aircraft is useless, there are so many things you have to do to make sure that the aircraft is useless. It's not like just put one side, it's okay. It's not nothing.
Thank you, Edimus was in MS, then he moved to GE, he moved to Airport Services. I think he retired from there and went in there. So he's been around as long as me. Okay. You interested in ATC? you design engineer, so you go into NX8. NX8 atau CAT8 later, okay. So here is aircraft nationality and registration. ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, has specified the numbers for every state. If you see 9M, that is Malaysia. You see 3, you see G in the front, that is UK. You can see N is US. You can see DH is Australia. So every country, because International Civil Aviation Organization is an agency of the United Nations. So they have prepared the numbers for every state. So if you look at Malaysia, you go to the airport, you look at all Malaysian 9M. But if you see other than 9M, it's not Malaysian registered aircraft. You have to look for which the first digit or the first 2 digit that will show before the dash. To show where the aircraft come from. Then annex, and then associated into Cat 7 is aircraft registration, aircraft mortgage, aircraft to be registered like your vehicle. There is a national registration of aircraft. You can register your aircraft, and then you can apply for a certificate of airworthiness. Just like your car, you don't bring 90,000 to Honda and purchase Honda cash. You have to purchase through the bank. So those are how you purchase. By aircraft, you call it mortgage. You buy, you go to the bank, you pay the bank, then pay Boeing. So that's why you also have mortgage register, where the aircraft, which bank actually own the aircraft. You own the aircraft, but bank own the aircraft because the bank give you the money. And NX8, this is most of our activity here now, even you are now doing aerospace engineering. If you are not doing aerospace engineering, civil engineering, if you will design, certification, and production and maintenance of aircraft, you will be under ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, NX8, and Malaysia has adopt and adapt those standards into CAD8. You can see the detail. You just click here, you can see the content, and here is regulation. If you're not following this, you will be penalized under 24O, 5 years jail, 500,000 fine, or both. I'm not going to scare you, because aviation is the safest career, I would say. Because it's check until the end, someone check before you release the product, see it check. So it has been checked. If you pass through the filters, you are just negligent, purely negligent. That's why they'll find you. There are room for errors, but there are no rooms for negligence. Negligence is pure violations. That's why the penalty is very high. Okay, if you look at this requirement, you will see type certification. Okay, you got A, B, part 2. Procedure for certification and continuing airworthiness of aircraft. You work on aircraft, that is the regulation governing your whatever you do, everything that you do. For part 2, chapter 1 or section 1, type certification, that is aircraft design and certification. Every product, there will be a product approval. Aircraft is product, engine is product, propeller is product. That product will have product approval, and the applicant of the product approval will hold a certificate which we call it type certificate. So Boeing is the product approval holder is Boeing aircraft. Airbus A320 is a product. The product approval holder is Airbus industry. So the TC will be issued to the Airbus industry on every product, every model. Then if you design a product, you have to apply for the product approval. You have to apply for the TC. There are 3 products will be given with the product approval: aircraft, engine, propeller. In Europe, AP also will be given product approval, but in Malaysia and US, we only give aircraft, engine, and propeller. Meaning that the product can stand by itself. You can sell the product individually. Then we have production. When you have the type certificate, you have done your certification, you have product approval, you have to make your product. So you have to have production. Your company must have production organization approval. POA. Then we have, once you completed production, assembly of the product, you need to get the product into the sky. You need to apply for the certificate of airworthiness. So every aircraft you fly shall have certificate of airworthiness. If you are in a big aircraft, you can see behind on the left is behind the captain. There are 2 certificates will be posted on the wall behind those flight crew, which is aircraft registration and aircraft certificate of airworthiness. This is mandatory to be on aircraft, because on your aircraft landed at a certain destination, for example London, Los Angeles, whatever in the world, the local authority may inspect the aircraft. And then they will see, first thing they will see whether the aircraft will have work, whether the aircraft carry the valid certificate of registration and certificate of airworthiness. And also noise certificate. We used to have a case where our aircraft was grounded in Taiwan because when they bought the aircraft, they could not find the certificate, noise certificate. The street certificate to be carried on board. Okay, so next, after certificate of airworthiness, continuing airworthiness, like I said, Haji Muzaffar is expert in this area. He's called his line working in Maru, from MAS to F1 to GE. That is continuing airworthiness. The aircraft must be continually safe. What will we do on the aircraft? There is a maintenance program for aircraft, for engine, for propeller. If you want to equate the maintenance program similar to your car, you have a car, you buy a car, there's a book, service book. The service book will explain to you 10,000 hours, 10,000 kilometers, 20,000 kilometers. So each of the kilometers, they will have things to be done to ensure the car is safe. So we have similar things on the aircraft, however it's more detailed. So there is a maintenance program which explains to you, which require you to inspect, to repair, to remove certain components, because some components may be like ours. So we have to throw away after life is expired. So that is under continuing airworthiness. And who are responsible for this? There is job opportunity for you. It's continuing airworthiness management organization. This company basically approved by the authority just to do the maintenance program, develop the maintenance program of the aircraft, as well as ensure the maintenance program is being used by the maintenance organization. Maintenance organization. So, used by the maintenance organization, they have to repair, they have to inspect the aircraft according to the maintenance program. So, under this here. Okay. 6. So, this is another industry. Continuing airworthiness, CAMO, Continuing Airworthiness Management Organization. This is another industry management organization, which is Part 145. Aircraft Maintenance Organization, AMO. That is another company. There are 3 categories of AMO: aircraft, engine, and components. Some company may have them all. For example, MS, they have all the 3. Category A, AMO, category B, and category C. So C are all components. If you work, for example, Muzaffar was working for airport, that is C component. GE is engine, category B. If you work for Aviation or you work for MS engineering, you are working for AMO with category E aircraft. So this is under this requirement. You can see here facility record, everything there's a detail. Because you need to go to this training on its own for you to be qualified. That is one of the things which is audited by the authority, whether you've gone through the specific training. And then, very interestingly, when you design of the aircraft, product, engine, propeller, whatever you do, are you referring to the design requirement? Are you referring to the airworthiness requirement? So the basic airworthiness requirement in this CAT, which is, you can see CAT 3, part 3, large aeroplane. Large aeroplane. Part 3B, I just go by. Part 3 is large aeroplane. Part 4 is helicopter. Helicopter. Part 5 is engine. Oh, sorry. Part 5 small aeroplane. Sorry. Part 6 is engine. Okay, and then there is part 7 propeller. There is another part now being introduced, will be implemented or take effect in 2021. There are 3 more parts. Part 9 for remote pilot aeroplane. Part 10, 9. 8, 9. Part 9 is for the remote pilot helicopters, and part 10 is remote pilot stations for remote pilot aircraft. Those are design requirements. So look at every detail here is all the design requirements. For example, propeller, failure analysis, material manufacturing method, pitch control. So these are the detailed design requirements for all products. If you are doing aircraft design project, you do not refer to this, as good as nothing. Because you never get that certified. It's only book design, only paper design. Will never get certified. So if you do design project, if you want to get extra margin, or you want to get the product to be cited by the industry, they may want to see the product, the industry is cited, or they like to see the product, you have to have this. If I'm doing the supervisor of your project, then I say, if you don't have this, I give you 0. There's nothing. You design for nothing. Okay, and also this, remember, regulation. If you comply, what happens to you? Yes, fail. Or 500,000 ringgit, fine. So you must understand, you must know all this now, because that is what I say. That's what this is time for you to can still experiment things. They cannot actually experiment this work because they can crash. They can't just crash because of very simple thing. But simple thing not according to engineering. That's all. As long as you follow engineering, inshallah you will be safe. Okay, this is a regulations. Let me go back to. Okay, here is Annex 8. Associated with Annex 8, there are a few more. For example, CAT A. This is all international requirement. It's not something see block over the sky overnight. This is the international requirement being implemented in Malaysia, and also most of these are cut and paste of the European regulations. So if you understand this, you learn this, you are able to work in any place, in any company around the world, because this is international requirement. The design requirement I show you later also international. Everyone in the world follow the requirement. Okay, so we have Cat A. Cat A is the safety net in your design. We know things that we know now. We design to the thing that we know today. We do not know what will happen tomorrow. We have crashed two space shuttle. The first aircraft 747-400 out of Boeing, having massive problem with the structure, end up with the major overhaul. The 380, the first two aircraft, one of the aircraft actually has rotor burst. 787 caught fire. So don't worry, don't scare. This is normal. It's not, I'm saying that you can make mistake, but we need to design things, we need to get product out, but the knowledge that we have in designing of the current knowledge. So that's why we have this safety net. We have this subpart A. Subpart A is mandatory for the user, for the operator, for the manager, whoever deal with the aircraft, to report back problem that you have on the aircraft. Mandatory to report under the law. Dan mandatory for you to receive, to register, to study, to determine the root cause, and to develop the mitigation to fix the problem. Mandatory. That is A. Feeling what you can exist. Okay. Okay. Huh? Okay, now is A. Subpart B is TC, the application of the TC or product approval, and then modification. You cannot simply modify the aircraft. You have to modify under the law. This is B, D. Then we have this. Okay, here for this situation here, you have to apply under design organization approval. You can be one of the staff working for design organization. Then we have this mod, and then we have supplemental TC, which is also mod, series mod, and then we have repairs. For the TC, you have to go for validation if you are using foreign TC, foreign product, validation of mod as well, installation of mod, installation of repair, product organization approval, that is how to make the product, part and appliances for components. For every component, there also must be a component, so we can certify the product on its own. For example, seats. If you are certifying the seat, you will be under TSO, Technical Standard Order. When you establish the company, or you work for the company, you design certified seat. And TSO, the seat is already aircraft parts. So need to be aircraft part, acceptable as aircraft part. Only the aircraft manufacturer will take that aircraft part into the aircraft and certify for the installation only. So that is the advantage of you having a TSO. You may also working for that TSO company. Identification of part numbering also in the regulation. How to do the part numbering of the parts and components, that is under subpart Q in the regulations. Then next, we have certificate of airworthiness. I just explained to you. Every aircraft must have certificate of airworthiness. There is also airworthiness flight test. This is certificate of airworthiness for export. If you are exporting the aircraft, permit to fly the aircraft for R&D, to fly the aircraft for certification or to fly the aircraft for maintenance. So there's permit to fly requirement, temporary loss of survey, how to handle when you have lost the survey. Subpart J, design organization approval. You could be working for this company later in your career. Mandatory containing airworthiness information. This is, for example, back to the subpart A. When you have in-service problem, when you have problem, you study, you mitigate. Authority will come in and issue mandatory inspection based on your mitigation to fix the problem. Now, if you follow through, there's a problem, big problem of, I think 787 failed. Qatar Airways now swing device for that case. So those are some of the problems, in-service problems. And we have now containing airworthiness. This is Haji Muzaffar area. MRO, maintenance organization approval, limited maintenance organization. This company are approved to do maintenance on the aircraft. So this is where most licensed aircraft engineers will be working to maintain the aircraft. You also can be work here because MRO company may also have the design organization for repair and modification for subpart D and subpart M. NDT, and then last one is okay, airworthiness approval. Every part and component should be signed off and should be issued with the airworthiness release certificate, which is under the production approval or under the maintenance organization approval. So this is an ecosystem of what you need to learn. This is an ecosystem of airworthiness. This is an ecosystem which, at least if you have some knowledge before you go to the industry, it will be beneficial to you because when you've been interviewed, you can impress the industry by having all this knowledge. So before you go for interview, you glance through, try to read through, try to just, you may not understand everything, but at least you understand the ecosystem. For later, maybe you've been interviewed by MS, and then you are working for the MRO, and then you just open up the cap on the MRO, and at least you got some idea what will be the requirement to be in the MRO. So that's about regulation and about, I think, Haji has said, there are many students, many almost all asking, how can I fit my degree to the industry? It's easy to answer because you also can have people working on the aircraft with the background of electronic, with the background of the mechatronic, because tak ada okay, in design of the aircraft, there are technical fields. If you look at those design requirements earlier on subpart 8 or cap 8, there is flight. Okay. You have to show compliance for the aircraft for flight, which is stability, control, vibration. Subpart C on the structure. Subpart D, design and construction. Subpart E is power plant. Subpart F is equipment, which is electrical, avionic, all the electronic stuff. Subpart D is all the manual. So those are C, B, C, D, E, F, G are design requirements. So you are going into aircraft design organization, you need to fit yourself into this. If you are aeromechanical, you will not fit into subpart F, which is the equipment, avionic, electronic. Those fill up by the people from avionic or electrical. So mean that you are aero, you cannot fit in all. You still go back to mechanical, electrical kind of kind of we call it discipline. So for me, your career opportunity can be from their organization for aircraft, which is design and organization company, production organization company, air operator, air operation, operate, maybe you work for the airline, maybe you work for air traffic services, maybe you work for ground handlers, those operations. Then you work for the aircraft maintenance organization, maintain aircraft, and also you may work for aviation, company organization to manage aircraft awareness, and you may also work on aviation training organization. So those are in the ecosystem of airworthiness. In fact, if you're doing training, you are trainer in aircraft maintenance training organization, you should be approved by the authority as well. So that's how the awareness ecosystem will manage and control. So your career is vast. So you have to scope where you want to go. You want to go for design, you want to go for production. Production also manufacturing engineer, so can fit into the production. No, so it's not necessarily aerospace. Because the production, there are coating, there are painting. We can work for T7, cable doing coating only. Okay, so that's how much I can pass to Haji on sharing this experience in MS and GE and F1. I'm working for, my experience, I work for Aerot, I work for Aircraft, I work for the design. I'm diploma of design certification and production.
Similar, I think Egypt will have the same thing. Egypt will have the same thing, but it will be Egypt authority. Any question? You start by question. Some of you. Yes.
So, Doctor mentioned the vast fields that you can go into. He mentioned the vast range of fields you can go into. Which one pays the most?
Which one pays the most? Currently, what they say currently, they pilot, of course. Pilot is the one normally get the most. Because they risk their life all the time, and they also don't have life. You know that pilot actually don't have life. You know that they got a lot of money, but they actually don't have life, especially if you, like mentioned, 747, A380. So you are flying from one continent to another continent. It's not one country to another country. Then you have to leave that, and you have to come back, and all these things. And once you get that license, I think pilot have to do like 40 hours or like 80 hours per month. So they limited something like 80 hours per month, right? And of course the company will maximize, will do everything. So now maybe less, but pilot actually don't have. I mean, they always flying everywhere. So the next one normally is the license engineer. Again, another group that don't have life. For license engineer, for pilot, there is no Hari Raya, there is no Hari Raya Korban, there is no Christmas, nothing. So you have to be there all the time. So you might be flying Hari Raya. Same like engineer, especially during festival, that's when aircraft all is flying. Because people want to go everywhere, they want to go back to their home country, balik kampung somewhere in Malaysia. So aircraft is flying all the time. So when aircraft want to fly, engineer must be there before flying. So Raya is practically engineer per. They will be at the airport, all the airport engineers on it. That is the life. But you get a especially you, I guess Middle East now is the best place for the time being. But after you graduated, you never know about your career. Another thing, aviation is very sensitive industry. The most sensitive in terms of anything happen in the world. Nothing to do with you, like the pandemic. Which one hit the worst? Aviation. No flight at all. If you remember, they celebrate 9/11. Last year they celebrate 20 years or 30 years of 9/11. When 9/11 happened, no flight. The whole world. Even though it happened in the US, everybody said nobody flew. That's the impact. Even this MH17 got shot and people don't fly. It's just the sensitivity. If anything happens, that people scared to fly. So it's now downturn, economic downturn. Again, people don't fly. No more money. So aviation very sensitive. Even like the pandemic, it's like 200,000 lose their job throughout the world. But now, of course, they're picking up. But it's an industry that I think will last forever. People will not want to sit in on this. And to go to another place, still there is no other method besides flying, unless we develop teleportation. So that's the kind of thing. Like you mentioned, my experience with Initial Airline and GE, and you mentioned Air Force Research that is part of SASA, German company. So I was working with aeroplane A, downgrade to B, engine only, then downgrade to component C. APL to say that I got almost covered everything in one world. So opportunity. So now roughly about 200 students. Aerospace. B1, B2, B3. Every year about 50. Every batch about 50. So opportunity wise, that's thing. If you are looking at the nation, opportunity for you in oil and gas also. Taking care of the gas turbine. For your engineering, you know, I have promotion vision for promotion. Promotion mainly, the big one is for the gas turbine engine. So taking care of that engine when they use is another thing. So oil and gas do use a lot of gas turbine engine. Every single platform, oil platform in the world will have that. Oleh power supply. So I think roughly in Malaysia we do have around 600 engines used by power companies. Petronas alone about 200 engines. That one we will talk about TMB, power generation. In Malaysia, about 50 or 60 engine being used for power generation. So that's another opportunity beside aviation. But oil and gas make more money than aviation. So any question related to both opportunity? Because you know, Initial Airline, Asia, we have Initial Airline, we have Asia, we have Malibu, big three. Academy. When you go down, the taking care of the aircraft, continuing airworthiness, Initial Airline got their own maintenance facilities. small company. It's actually big company, considering small in terms of aviation. And we got production, we got UMW Aerospace in Serenda, Karawang. They're making part of the engine. And we got Spirit Aerosystem in Subang. They're making part for Boeing and Airbus. They're making fairing, we learn about fairing, aerodynamic, and they're making doors to the aircraft. And we have the manufacturing. And we got CTRM in Malaysia for Mosin. That one more design, got Spirit. But unfortunately, pure design, Malaysia we don't actually have that. But when you talk about design engineering, honestly, when you talk about design, you're not going to make aircraft. You're not thinking about making the aeroplane. Maybe one single small bracket. Like this chair, like this one. Maybe you just design this piece. Not the whole piece. Not the whole piece. Just this front piece. Because it's like, I think it's about 60,000 different parts per aircraft. 60,000 different parts. Engine alone about 20,000 different parts for one engine. So to design the part, only one part. But when you talk about design, mostly in Malaysia, you will involve in designing the tool and the fixtures. When you want to do the work, how to do the work, how to improve the work, that part of design. So normally that's why Abu mentioned mechanical students also get the same opportunity. It's not like you have another question. Any other question? Anything under the sun about aviation? System design, or that one most probably you have to work with the aircraft manufacturer. But design of the system is the whole thing. At least one system like mentioned flight control. Aerodynamic, how the aircraft attitude, how the aircraft work, fly, and you flight control is the one that makes sure the aircraft can go up, go down, all this thing. So you have the aileron, the elevator, rudder. So that is flight control system. So many things. And you got even the pilot job, everything. That's part of the flight control system. So system is, I don't know, one aircraft, I don't know how many hundred engineers working on system. That one, okay, you get the experience there, then probably as the world open, opportunity to go and work in Airbus system. Currently, Airbus present in Malaysia is more on the maintenance side. But of course, design in terms of maintenance, because you got, it's more on engineering, design. When you talk about design, sekarang ni you talk design, you look at one thing, make a thing, but working, how to do work, you also need design. From the thing something, you have to design the workflow. That's design work. That's why I asked just now, any of you study and you didn't say that. So that, like I said just now, what we learn here is to solve problems. So that is one of the big tools in solving problems. But on way to use problem, before that time, analysis. So you list all the reasons why that thing see what you can do so that this thing will not go wrong. All the time. So that's most of you, I guess, will be involved in that when you go into that. I can say almost all aerospace engineering students, when you go into the industry, that is the main thing that is supposed to do. We will ask for that. I will mention, we have all this law because we don't want things to go wrong. Any question? Uniform untuk universiti ke? Nama aerospace? Flying is an example, Prof. Flying. So 1 is the licensing, and 6 is the actual out there.
What is the question?
Rule about flying.
Rule about flying is the question 6.
CAD 6. So when you mention CAD is measure according to CAD. But like APR mentioned the international understanding, the ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, where everybody has to follow. They call it under Annex 6. So that's why we put it 6. So Egypt will also have something to do with 6. I will talk about 9. So that's the rule. So, part 1 is the commercial transport, all the Egypt airline, so international airline, that's the thing that they do. And, part 2 is all the private jets, all the small aircraft. If you, I guess you guys will be familiar with Cessna. So Cessna normally fall under part 2. The small aircraft, and you got that helicopter. So the rule is inside the open net. You can see everything. So this is, I will introduce this the actual driver. When you want to get involved with aeroplane, everything inside. And you must follow number 24O. You know, our 5 years, 500,000 a year. I don't know about Egypt. But that is, actually that one also is new. It used to be what, like 10,000, 5,000? 50 years. It used to be very, very small amount. So that's what people don't get. So that is $500,000. When you take 500,000, it's still small. $500,000 ringgit. And we sound big. In 5 years. When you don't follow the rule, that 5 years,
Yeah.
you just don't follow. Nothing happens. You don't follow. 5 years. 500,000. But something happened. You did something wrong. Something happened. People die. That is 3rd-degree murder. Membunuh tanpa niat. 3rd-degree murder. Dan macam, every 15 years. But then again, that's why we have all this. It's considered logically, if you actually do all this, it's almost impossible. Any of you heard about Six Sigma? Six Sigma. one is considered quite advanced. So from 1 million flight, only 3 has problem. That the standard they want to follow. Bukan 3 crash, 3 has problem. That's good. From 1 million aircraft that's flying. So 1 million time you see aircraft take off, only 3 will have some problem. We have mentioned some fire on the aircraft. We didn't say about crashing. We don't want anything like that. But that is how serious. That's how actually consider the safest industry. But we are so concerned about it. And anything happen, the whole world talk about it. Anything happen, the whole world talk about it. Doctor, you know that doctor kill more people than aircraft. Doctor kill more people when they do mistake. When they make a mistake, 1% die. So it's not well done. In aviation, you do a mistake, it's like 300 people die. So everybody knows about it. And we have mentioned this now about you design on what you know today. Something new information you get tomorrow will be, it's sort of, it's allowed early in terms of, but of course you have to improve. Let's consider what happened to 737 MAX. Before that, this is all the information that anyone knows. After that, anyone will get the information. Tak ada soalan. Farah yang mana Farah? Tak ada soalan. Dia wakil student. Mana wakil student? Untuk elok. Untuk elok banyak soalan. Soalan yang dah kumpul. So anything you can ask. Because I did it a few times, I know. No question. And we want to go back. Maybe we got all back under 1 or 2 hours and we got question. So it's best share. For everybody you want to know. You want to know, you just ask. Term license is individual. So each individual need to have their license. Normally when you talk about company, they get approved company. So the authority will approve that company to do that work. But the person inside that company want to do that work, need to have a license, which also get from the authority. So a lot of other things that is not covered in the license, that for license, still company will have a process to certify these people. Then that's why when you say approved company, the company have to have a system to make sure that everybody that work with them must certify. That is aviation. So every single person certify. You not demo to take care of the aircraft, to understand about the aircraft. And you have to be certified to do that. Demo don't need license, but that person work there need to be certified. Competent, so they have all the knowledge, they have all the training, exactly. Normally we got the basic training, understand the big picture, and the type training, specific aircraft. Specific aircraft is what we call type training. So this record must have, then only you you can say that this person knows how to take care of it. So the company needs to be approved, and the personnel needs to be license, or certified. The system is certified. Can speak. Yeah, sorry.
Is it valid only dekat Malaysia or global?
I think valid in Malaysia or everywhere. Currently it's provided by the state country. But of course it's a reality to the other country. That conversion, it depends on this country. But once you have the license, then you need to get a license from every country will not be that difficult. That's the only issue. It's not really. But you have to go through the process on each country. It's not covered. Macam driving license. National driving license, you go to another country, they give some leeway for a while, you have to go. So normally, company mentioned about Middle East. So most, I don't know now, but at time they were bringing license from other country, and they got some leeway for the time being until they convert to their own license. So it depends on how they manage it. It's specific to the country. That's why we have, this is under CAM, but the standard, we adopt that international system. So that's why you need to, normally you need to understand how the country works. That's the reason that you have to have that own country license. Which is not, it's not international. Personally, I said, go to the industry, because that's where you get experience. When the industry, especially now, most of it, one thing I don't agree with industry. If people graduated, you go for an interview, they say you don't have experience, they don't want to get it. So how do you get the experience? And the people who interview, if people who interview that you don't have experience, agak-agak ni dunia ada experience. So they graduate. But you have opinion, so it's my opinion. When we talk about opinion, so industry is not just any industry, or you don't have experience. You will not being exposed at all. How do you get experience? They don't give you a chance. But because before that, when I work in airport, I'm one of the person who actually most of the time do the interview for engineers, for the production people. I don't know the experience. I know what I need to do. Willing to learn. The most important thing that you still want to learn. But definitely you will not know how to do it. Willing to learn, fast learner, and you have a strong basic. When I talk about strong basic, you know your physics. You know your physics, you know your science. That's me. If you got your strong basic, it's easy for you. Whatever job that you get. If you don't got strong basic, you have hard time. You got the chance, you revisit your basic physics. physics say, today physics say, in order for you to lift something up, what do you need? What do you need to lift something up? And you need your flight, your flight. Your flight is together. Don't tell me aerospace, you don't need about your flight. What do you need to lift something up? Zero gravity. So, on Earth, impossible. Physics is impossible. For now, whatever knowledge that we have about physics, impossible. So, how to lift up? You need a force at least equivalent to the weight. You need a force that is equivalent to the weight. So, you have to create that just to lift up. Not move around there. So currently, to lift up the force that equivalent, how do you create that force? Basic. This is how basic thinking. How do you create that force? You have to create down force. To create down force, so for a 10 kilogram item, what is the down force? Basic. For 10 kilogram item, what is the down force in it? Huh? 98 or 100 Newton. So how do you create that 100 Newton? Now you go another step. How do you create that 100 Newton? What do you need to create that? So this is the thing when you talk about basic. How to create that? At least you need a propeller or something to do that. And how do you move that propeller? And you need to have it. And you need to have fuel. So the ecosystem, fuel. So the basic, you really understand basic, easy way. The thing is, I guess, a lot of, when we talk about the person who actually carry out the work, yeah, okay, they will take people with it. When you talk about the person in charge in the company supposed to take the person, then it's a different time. You talk about experience. You talk about experience, but they don't want to be experience. That's it. But your practical, how many weeks? 10 weeks, is it? Yeah, internship. That's the sad part. When I was in the company, I was 6 months. The whole half year, so your 1 semester of the half year, I want to book the whole half year. And you can see and immediately you employ. 10 weeks too short for the company to understand you. It used to be 12, now they reduced to 10. This is university, and that's why industry malah university. Industry hate university because university do things without talking to us. That was both ways. And industry also don't want to support university. Okay, penting lah. New normal person. Just now we talk about regulation that we have in Malaysia about working in aviation. So you can go to the website of CAI.government.my, then they have all these things. Then you can just go into this CAD, Civil Aviation Directive, mostly is covered there. industry is covered under that tab, CAD. CAM website, Civil Aviation Authority, you go under the tab of legislation, regulation, and you look at CAD, Civil Aviation Directive. That one you can say cover 95% of what you're supposed to understand in terms of law, regulation, in Malaysia, if you want to work in aviation. So it's best for you to refer to that. Even your FYP, whenever FYP. So you put inside the FYP. CAD, very impressive. Final project, put this. Why you do the project? Because you say you have to do this. Any question? Okay. Egypt is okay. Not Egypt. Yemen. What happened to Yemen? On top there? Malaysia? Malaysia? I don't know about Malaysia. So, Malaysian, Indian, Malaysian, there's a lot of international students, sorry. Everywhere international students. No question? Sure. Because according to your this thing that they recorded in YouTube and this. So when you have any question, you will forward to Farah or Farah will forward to us. I think so. So whatever that we can answer. Okay. Anything else? Yes.
So, in the end of the talk just now, so this is our finishing of our program. So, thank you very much to Prof. Abu Hanifah and also Prof. for presenting the talk here. So, as token of our appreciation for his time, for their time and their valuable contribution, I would like to invite Ms. Farah Zulaika binti Jafri Haini, President of Aerospace Committee 2022-2023, to kindly present a souvenir to both of them. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I thank you very much for your active participation in this session. We hope you enjoy the program. Have a safe trip and thank you.